Hola mis amigos, ¿qué tal? I am in my hammock, what a surprise, and I'm in a different location. I am in a park that is very close to my apartment here, which is great because I did not feel like walking 25 minutes to be in a place that does not have a lot of shade. But this place, pretty nice. Anyways, hello. I hope everything's been going pretty well. It's been a lot these past couple days. Last weekend, I was in Morocco. There was an excursion with my study abroad company. It was so much fun. We left very early Friday morning last week. We had a meet at like 6:45 or something like that, very early. We were then on a bus for 2.5 hours, and we were at this port because then we took a ferry over to Morocco, and the ferry was really cool. I was not expecting it. It was very similar to an airplane, but a lot more space, and it was about a 45-minute, 1 hour ferry ride. We then arrived in Ceuta, which actually is a Spanish territory, like on the African continent. We arrived there, and then we took a bus, and we had to go through 2 different border security. We had to go through Spain's and then Morocco, and they had to like come in and stamp our passports on the bus and everything. Then we drove to Tetuan, which is where our hotel was. We dropped off all of our stuff, and we then went with our bus to the city of Tetuan, and we went into the Medina of Tetuan, and Medina is kind of like a walled district part of the city, which is usually the oldest part of the city, the more traditional. So we were there, just kind of walking around, and we saw the king's palace. The king is very important in Morocco. You can't talk bad about the king, and there is a picture of the king in literally every single restaurant, every single hotel, every single store. You can always find the king. So I always played the game called Spot the King in any building. I would always be looking out, and I'd point him out to my friends. We walked around the Medina in Tetuan and explored all the different sections, and we walked down this market street, and they warned us before we went down the market street because they said it might be disturbing to some people. And we walked by, and there's just like chickens skinned and hanging above doors, and just like piles of fish and like vegetables with like a bunch of flies on it. At least you know it's fresh. We also went to this one place for lunch, and it was so good. We had couscous, and we had their tea, and the tea is so good. Like, it's this mint tea that they put a ton of sugar in, and it just tastes amazing. It was a really cool experience in Tetuan. We also went to a English school, and we got to meet some students and talk to them, and it was really cool. We went back to the hotel after all of that. It was a very long day, and we had dinner, which was really good. All the food there was so good. And of course, we had tea. We also, the next day, we had another big day. On Saturday, woke up, we had a later breakfast, which, there's a ton of bread options, which was okay with me. And we went to this beach, kind of near Asila, and got to the beach, and there were camels. We got to ride camels on the beach. Currently on a camel. I was terrified. My camel did not want to behave. It was just kind of like zigzagging. At one point it started running, which was terrifying. I thought I was going to fall off. like the whole time. And I also took a selfie with the camel because you gotta take a camel selfie when you get the chance. Then we went to lunch. I don't think I've eaten that much food besides on Thanksgiving. It was so much food. They served us bread for an appetizer. Then we had salad. Then we had pastilla, which, whew, that was so good. It was like, I don't know how to describe the taste. It was sweeter than I thought it would be. It kind of had like a cinnamony taste. And then they're like, here's some fries too. So we each had like a plate of fries. And then they're like, oh, here's some fruit, here's an apple, and here's a banana. And I was like, oh, cool, I'll eat it because dessert, right? No, that wasn't dessert. That was like pre-dessert. We then had little cookies. We each had like 3 little cookies that they just handed us on a plate with tea. And we all afterwards could not move. I never felt that full before when it wasn't Thanksgiving. After lunch, we hopped back onto the bus and we went to this cave, the Cave of Hercules, which is very, very famous. And we got to see the inside. It's really cool. It was a lot bigger than I thought it'd be because the cave I've only really experienced is with Ligonier Camp, where you have to like crawl in and crawl back out. This one just walked right in. It was a breeze. The Cave of Hercules is cool because it looks like Africa. So this lady grabbed my friend's hand as we were like going down and like couldn't see, and was like, I'll do henna for you. And my friend's like, oh, I don't have much time. She's like, real quick. So she just like quickly like did this whole thing on her hand. And then my friend was like, I don't even know how much to give her because I didn't even want it in the first place. But it was really funny. It was all good though. It ended up being okay. Anyways, we then, after the cave, we went to Sevilla and we had some free time there. So we just went around to some shops and I got a ring. We got these like blanket things that are originally for camel rides, and there were a lot of shops. So it was really cool to just kind of explore for a little bit. After Sevilla, we went back to the hotel, we had dinner, and then it was the next day where we went to Shawin. It's the town in Morocco that's like painted blue. Everything's painted blue to keep the insects away and also allow the buildings to remain cool inside when it's really hot out. So we went there and had a tour with a local, which is so cool. We then got free time, so we went and bought a bunch of stuff, explored, and then we had lunch, which was good. Everyone was just very nice, like all the shop owners, very kind, and it was kind of fun to just barter with them. Also, the tour guide that was with us for the trip, she's so great and very kind and very knowledgeable about Morocco and knows like a bunch of languages. She's really cool. So that was Morocco. We got back very late on Sunday, around 11:30 at night. So that was fun to wake up the next day for my internship, but you know what? It was good. I survived. The internship was going well. I really like this one doctor that I have been shadowing. She's really funny and she's like very down to earth, which is awesome. And she explains everything to me and answers all my questions, but also she makes a lot of jokes, which is really funny. And I actually the other day met some PA students spending a couple weeks here in Sevilla. And they're almost done with PA school and they're just here in Sevilla. It was cool to talk to them and they really explained everything to me. And they also had the same experience where no one knows what a PA is here. It's kind of like describing something that doesn't exist. It's a hard thing, especially to do in Spanish. I have my flamenco midterm in a couple days. I'm not really sure how I'm going to study for this because it's not really a lecture. She just kind of talks about stuff. Beats me. Hopefully she tells us on Tuesday. Thank you for checking in on me, and I hope that you have a great week.